Hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown. This week we find out that Finding Dory has the muscle to not only beat down The Rock, but a whole alien armada. Let's do this.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Look at that, when you hear the little jaunty music, that means we're going to be talking Box Office Breakdown.
Woo!
Woo!
It's late on a Monday, but that picks you right up.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's
Every
right.
week.
Hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk. This is the show where we break down the weekly box office and give predictions about the weeks to come. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D. Lane.
Hi guys, my name is Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
And Richie Skye, who's usually with us, is away right now with some family, and our thoughts are with him. So this week, folks, we're going to talk right in. We're going to delve right in the top 5. As we thought, Finding Dory was going to kick butt again, and it did. I know our numbers here. I certainly went high. I thought 85, but it came in at 72.9. So not too bad. It's not 46%.
We were high, but that's still good. I mean, that's
yeah.
really up there.
Less than a 50% drop.
I'm trying to remember what all our numbers were from last week.
I
So
think
we really
I
did the prices right. I'm like
Yeah.
78.
I did 81.
81. Okay, so then
And I think you were 85, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I went high. I went high.
I think I was lower. I might have been 78.
I think Richie won this one. I can't
he
remember
might
what
have been 76 or something.
Richie's
Yeah.
on a hot streak. He's 2 for 2. So
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
thankfully he's gone, so that means one of us can win.
But we also don't know if he saw Warcraft. That was the
Oh,
whole
yes!
thing. Do you guys think he did?
Did he? No.
Yes, no.
Did
he
we have
not.
money on this? I
No.
can't remember.
He did not. No way,
No.
he didn't. I need
We
to
just
put
had
all-
maybe a big fat I told you so.
Yeah, I know.
Be like, ha!
But also
didn't
he'll
believe
come
you.
back next week and be like, who's to say when I saw it? Who's to say?
Yes.
You know?
He never saw it, and he's gonna pretend like he knows the plot, but he doesn't. Some orcs fought against some dudes.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Being like, and I don't know anything, so I'd be like, yeah, he probably saw it then.
sure.
That's more than I know.
So now, did you finally make it to Finding Dory? I know it got out of the first week.
No.
All right. Well, fine, Carrie. That's cool.
That's actually, I mean, the haters gonna hate, right? But I'm like, I liked Finding Newman enough, but I'm actually like, I could pass on watching.
See,
Finding
I'm
Dory.
dying to see this. I just couldn't get to the
Or
theater
it'd be a
all week.
while, you know, maybe later. It's definitely not on my top.
Oh, all right.
I feel like
Guys.
I've had like a lot of company lately, and like now everyone's finally gone and everyone's out of town, and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna spend the entire next week at the theater. So like finally I can just go see whatever I
There you
want.
go.
I don't have to
know.
worry about like going to dinner and stuff.
I have to catch up on so many movies.
I know, me too. Me too. I'm excited.
What about you? Did you see it?
I saw it opening weekend.
Oh yeah.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Because you know. Yeah.
Yes, because someone commented that there was something after the credits.
Yes.
Did you watch that?
Oh, a little Easter egg, or
I did. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Little blip there.
Because I don't know, the
Fun.
way they said it made it sound like they didn't think you had, but I figured you would stay through the end.
I'm always about staying to the end of
Yes.
those credits. Yeah, you got to.
Gotta do it.
Yes.
Also, Pixar really does their credits well.
So if there was a thing after the credits, was there a cool animation before the movie started? Like
There was. They had a little
A short?
A short.
Was it a good one?
It was cool, yeah.
Oh, good.
It was. It had to deal with a bird on the ocean, learning how to fend for itself.
Oh, cute.
Or I mean, learning a little baby bird learning to.
Aw.
I loved the lava one, or like
Yeah.
I lava you, the Hawaiian Islands or whatever.
My favorite
I
is
thought
the
that was
birds
cute.
on the wire.
The
Oh,
birds
that
on
was
the
good.
wire. I don't
That was
remember
one of my
that
favorite one. Oh my god. There's just, it's so funny and weird and kooky.
The birds on the wire. I have to go
It's
back and
the
watch
little chubby little ones, and then there's the weird bird, and the little ones are being mean to him, and in the end they all end up featherless, and he's like, I don't think I've
I
ever
think
seen
my
it.
favorite one was like the Lost Toys AA meeting.
it. Oh yeah, I remember that
Where
one.
they're like the Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one was my favorite.
I do remember that one.
Now, as we're talking about stuff, feel free to talk about it as well. You can hop on the YouTube channel, subscribe to us there, get in the chat room, share your thoughts about what you thought about this week at the box office, what you thought about the predictions, what your predictions were. Were you right? Were you wrong? Were you happy with what came in at number 1? Were you a little disappointed? Also, you like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes as well. And feel free to hit us up on Twitter throughout the week there about what you thought about the show, about what you think about the box office. We'll chime in with our opinions, as we will do for the rest of the show. Coming in at number 2, we had one of the big releases
I
for this
forgot to
week.
mention something about Dory. It was the
Yes.
second, or it was the highest weekend for a second film. I mean, I said that wrong. It was the highest second weekend for an animated film ever.
Wow! All right, nicely done. That's
I meant to. I really messed that up. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I think I understood what you meant. It's like Words jumble. Understand? It's okay.
Moving on. What's number 2 again? Sorry.
Oh no, number 2 we have Independence Day Resurgence coming out from Fox. Came in at 41 million for its opening. So I mean, yeah, that's
Not bad for an action movie.
Their budget was like over 160 million.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna have to make up those numbers abroad. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a sci-fi movie. Those you gotta have the special effects, which that makes your budget like keep going.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So I think that actually I don't think that's a great opening weekend.
No,
It's
I mean
alright.
compared to the original, I just thought the original had so much buzz. This one, it seems like critically, it has not been being as well received.
Again, I also feel like I haven't seen a whole lot of promo for it, which is weird because it's a huge movie.
Yeah. I like how someone made a joke there, like Will Smith said yes to Men in Black 3, but said no to Independence Day 2.
I like Men in Black 3.
I was like, oh no, I actually liked all the Men in Black movies enough in their own ways, but it was kind of funny that you're like, good point. Why did you say no? But who knows if he was even asked or whatever? So it's a different kind of movie.
I'm sure he was asked. Right? He must have been.
Yeah, I'm sure. You wouldn't do that. Not if you have a chance to get Will
Well,
Smith
I meant
in
like
your film.
if they feel they want that character in there, because then they could just be like, we're not gonna even bother having you there.
Yeah, given the reviews and the way it's been received, I can understand why he may have wrote that
might
script
be
and
like,
said like, maybe I'm gonna step aside on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as we get to a little bit, it's done very well internationally. So I certainly feel like at least foreign box office is really going to help this bring up the totals at the end. Coming in number 3, The Rock still is cooking. Sure, there you go.
The Rock still is cooking.
Yeah, he's still cooking there. Central Intelligence came in a little over $18 million, taking in number 3. So The Rock and Kevin Hart.
That's better than I thought it was gonna do, actually.
Top 3, I mean, even though it's third, it's definitely everybody's money went to Dory, and then Independence was like close second,
Yeah. Seeing how good The Shallows did, actually, I'm surprised that The Shallows didn't do better,
Shallow.
didn't get in third there. People really liked that movie. Everyone, I had a lot of friends who were like flocking to go see that. So
I did hear good stuff too.
yeah.
But I think certainly the feedback and the buzz about the Dwayne Johnson's and Kevin Hart's chemistry, I think that it's been really well received. So I can understand why it has a little bit of legs in the box office.
Yeah, totally.
We'll see how it goes for into next weekend. That would be the question.
Yeah. And number 4, we have The Shallows from Sony. Had its big release with Blake Lively struggling against a shark in shallow waters, amongst other things. That's just the beginning.
Which I think it made, it already made almost its entire budget already. I think I read that. So that's great.
Yeah. Right now it's just going to
Good
be gravy
numbers.
there for Sony there. Almost $17 million there at the box office. So yeah, I mean, it's. I know we had our predictions there, where we thought like Free State of Jones might come into play here. We thought that might be in the top 5.
Dude, and
Didn't even make the top
too.
5.
It came in at number 6.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that The Shallows is just like the summer kind of horror, kind of
Perfect
water.
timing.
And you get
Yeah.
like Blake Lively in a bikini and whatever
And a horror
else.
movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's like I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand why. Sadly, Free State of Jones, as we talked about last week, just
No
doesn't
ads.
no ads, but also seems like the wrong time of summer to release a film
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
This is where you want to see somebody struggling against a shark,
Yeah.
or you want to see people fighting ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did way less than they were projecting it was going to do too, which is like, such a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rounding out the 5, The Conjuring 2 held strong. to take
strong.
the
Still in
fifth
the
title.
top 5.
Yes.
Man.
$7.7 million there, just down a little over 48%.
Yeah, so it's not even more than 50% drop compared to some of the other films that have seen like such a significant drop in their numbers from the other week. So
Yeah.
it's holding on there strong.
Yeah, so I mean, third week, coming up close to $87 million. So I feel like this is going to definitely move over the $100 million mark.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's close.
By
It's
next
like,
week, you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
By next week?
No, I think
No.
I
Next
think it's
couple
gonna be
weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 3 weeks.
Cool. Well, good
Yeah.
for them. Jeez.
Yeah, so that takes out our top 5 here. But internationally, though, Fox's Independence Day, as we talked about, Independence Day Resurgence, it landed with lesser than expected $100.1 million start, down from the $102.13 million from its Sunday estimate. So a little bit down from the initial projections. But it took still the number 1 spot at the international box office. It's a 20-year sequel. Holy cow. But it invaded 58 markets and was in the top 40, including Korea and Mexico. And but
20 years. Wait, really?
yeah, it came out in '96. So I mean, still.
I was 5.
Oof,
I
yeah.
was gonna say we don't have to all date ourselves so much.
I'm
but
just
we can all
saying,
just be like, wow,
I'm just
that
saying
was
you can
20 years
understand why the
ago.
nostalgia doesn't really ring for me that much. I mean, like I did see the movie when I was little, but I wasn't like old enough to really like appreciate it and love it or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still just dominated the Chinese box office. So I mean, it's going to do well, as we're talking about there. But Finding Dory, I mean, it's not just conquering the domestic box office, but doing incredibly well overseas. It had a $37 million second weekend from its 37 territories. Try saying that a few times fast. For $110.3 million overseas. It'll soon become the biggest Pixar release in China, topping Monsters University, which had $32.5 million.
Wow.
Monsters U did that well.
Yeah, in
I was
China.
just surprised. I didn't think Monsters U did that well.
That's so funny. I really think that is like one of Pixar's lesser works.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I liked it.
It was,
I liked
It's
it.
cute.
yeah, but at the end, it just said like, "Hey, settle. You're not going to actually be what you want, so just settle for something else."
What do you mean?
Because Mike wants to be one of the scares, and realizing that he's never
got it.
going to be that. And so they say you got to think of something else. You're never going to be what you really have worked so hard in your life
I don't think
for.
I felt that way when I saw it, but I guess you're right.
Yeah, it's just like, guess what? No
Well,
matter how
it's the way you enjoy it, besides the message, is seeing how the characters you like got where they were. I think that's where a lot of the enjoyment for that movie comes from.
One of those worlds that you just want to see more of.
You're just like, "Ooh,
you just
tell me
want
more about it."
They did such a good job building that world with all like the little like kind of monster versions of the human things, and I think that it's one of those things where you're just like, what else can they make up? Like I can't wait to see what else they can dig out of this. So I think that's the same with like I think Dory is really similar in that way.
All right, so quick rating here. We'll get a little off tangent here to
Yeah.
rank the Pixar franchises. So you've got Toy Story, you got the Finding Nemo franchise, you got Cars, and you've got
franchises?
Monsters. Yes. And
Is that it?
And Incredibles, we know a sequel's coming to that.
Oh, I
so
love
See,
there-
that was one.
Incredibles.
That was the thing of like we've all been asking for a sequel, and why hasn't that one made a sequel yet? Come on.
Yeah, and it's on its way. So
Yeah.
Well,
so
we can't put that one into the rankings just yet. We haven't
Yeah.
seen the
that's
sequel.
true. So
Yeah.
who knows? So we got those four. So
Okay.
how would you rank those? What is your top?
Wait, so we had Toy Story, Monsters,
Cars,
Cars,
and
Dory.
yeah,
Cars might be my last.
And wait, what was
actually?
the Finding
Oh,
Nemo.
we had 4. Just
Yeah.
4. I was thinking there's 5.
I'm gonna give Cars to number 4.
I never saw the Cars sequel.
You're not missing anything. That's a rough one. That is a rough.
Okay, so Cars.
I mean, probably Toy Story is number 1 is the most consistent
I was gonna give Toy Story
story,
number 1 too.
characters, and it just keeps going. It's not like it doesn't feel like a jump, and the other sequels stand alone well too, and that's a good sign.
Wait, I can't do this either because I haven't seen Dory yet. So if I can't do Incredibles, I can't do Dory.
Oh, Quinn. Just
I know, I was like,
Assume?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Monsters was okay, but I feel the first one you didn't necessarily need the sequel.
All right.
You didn't need it, but it's still good.
Now, for me, I would
Yeah,
go.
what about you? You've seen that? It sounds like you've seen
I'll
that
do
one too.
Toy Story, Monsters, Dory, or Finding Nemo, and then last Cars.
Okay.
With Cars 2
Are you
being
gonna do
in-
Monsters before Finding Dory?
I would. I
Okay.
would. Yeah,
Oh,
just because like the genre is a little bit more interesting to me.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then with Monsters, no, not Monsters. Never mind, I lost it. I was like, wait. Nope, I had the
It
question.
just flew right away.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
like,
Now I feel like if Incredibles 2 nails it, which I'm hoping that it will, then I can see that taking the top spot. But if
Yeah.
not, then it'll fall right underneath
yeah.
Toy Story.
Oh, that's what it was. Cars. Was that one? How much did you like the first one?
I thought the first one was
Okay.
good, but I mean, it's one of those two that also the conceit of that movie where these are human cars with human characteristics. So you wonder like these are like what happened to all the humans in this world? I find like sometimes I get stuck in that logic.
Yeah, it would same as Airplanes, right?
Yes.
Sure,
With planes.
Was
sure.
Airplanes Pixar?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Have you guys
interesting.
ever heard the Pixar theory that all the movies intersect and it starts with one and ends at another? Like it's
Oh,
like,
interesting.
Yeah.
like
I think so.
Like
the
in
old
like
lady-
theme wise.
Yeah, like the old lady in Brave is really Boo from Monsters Inc. And
Wait a minute.
yeah, it's
Wait, who?
crazy.
But like,
Look it up
okay,
online.
like maybe in parallel universes or something, because doesn't Brave take place like so
well, that's
long?
about the doors and like traveling back through the doors can take you
Oh,
back through time.
send
So
a link.
She's looking for the cat. She considers him a cat, but I can't think of his name right now.
A Scully?
Yes.
Looking for Scully.
Yeah,
I do
she's
like-
looking for him.
Wait, did
so
you
if
say Brave?
Yeah, Boo is the old lady in Brave.
The Emma Thompson character, the mom, or the old crone?
The old like
I'm
witch
totally
lady.
blanking. I'm like-
Really?
I only saw Brave
Interesting.
once.
I'll pull it up. I'll tweet it to you guys.
All
Okay,
right,
yeah.
yes.
It kind
I
of
like to see it. Yeah.
I always like when like you have other characters from other movies pop up.
They kind of
you know what I
like-
mean? Like I think on the
Yeah.
in the Incredibles, there's like he's got a bunch of Monsters Inc. characters on his shirt and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
that always like gets my little like Pixar heart. I'm like, yeah, I saw it. Did anyone else see it? Because I saw it.
The Easter eggs, the cameos. Yeah.
Anyway,
So as we've been talking about the films that came out this week, we have to look ahead for next week. We've got 3 films that we're going to be talking about a little bit. We've got the BFG, the Legend of Tarzan, and The Purge: Election Year.
Another sequel.
Yes. So as we're being inspired of those, we usually take something that's inspired from that list to kind of come up with the top 5 of our own that we break down a little bit. And for this, we're going to do the top 5 Steven Spielberg box office movies, but we're not talking about just necessarily grosses, but we're just talking about their opening weekend. So it may not be what you consider your personal top 5.
I was just saying,
For sure. I think many people, this wouldn't be their when they're thinking of Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Like
I
their
almost was
go-to
like,
top 5.
Whoa.
But just based on opening box office, coming in at number 5, we had Minority Report. Tom Cruise right there.
that one's a really excellent movie.
Yeah, Colin Farrell coming in from Fox. Opened up with a little over $35 million.
Can I just say that feels like a really low number to be on Steven Spielberg's top 5? Because it just feels like all of his movies gross so much because he's got the name attached to it that like all of the top 5 movies for Steven Spielberg should be like above 50.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Even like from like 2002, you're thinking like that still should be close to 100, like moving up towards between
And
50
it's
and 100.
and Tom Cruise, which he draws in a lot of people for box office.
Yeah.
So that's really, really shocking. I want to see this list for total gross though at some point.
Yes. The next is number 4, Jurassic Park.
No, I mean like, but these probably aren't the same. This wouldn't be this. We're just looking at the opening gross for this list. So if we were looking at the total gross, wouldn't it maybe be a different list?
It would, I mean, certainly, it would. There would be others before Minority Report for sure on the for.
Oh,
for
I see.
totals.
Yeah, shuffling.
So Jurassic Park, its opening weekend, $47 million. Which, thinking back now, I mean, I guess you think it's also 93. So I mean, certainly.
Well, for that one too, I was gonna point out for Jurassic Park, and then when we're gonna get up to Indiana Jones, both of those are movies that there was one before it, so you liked the first one, so that is the time where you are excited for the sequel. So like Jurassic Park, people are like, oh cool, new interesting idea, but then by the time Lost World comes around, they're like, oh, there's more of this. And same thing Indiana Jones, like, sorry, jumping ahead a little bit, but that one, it's like everybody loves that franchise. And then now there's a new one after that's a way bigger gap though. But so that one I would see, that's why everyone was like, we need to go opening weekend. We haven't had an Indiana Jones movie in forever. And so that's why it's like, boom, everybody went.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, the John Williams score, like I gotta go back,
Yeah,
So
that's nostalgia, old and young people like excited to go. So that's probably why some of that shuffling is the way it is on that list.
Yeah. Number 3, you got War of the Worlds. Almost $65 million.
Again, Tom Cruise.
Unpopular opinion, but I like War of the Worlds a lot.
I like the first half.
Yeah.
And then when the son doesn't die, when he runs over that hill and he doesn't die, and he shows up at the end, I'm like, this movie stinks.
I agree. The ending was a bummer, but I always thought the tone was really cool.
Yeah. I liked it, and I read the book, and I was like, well, they changed stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah,
And Jurassic Park is an excellent book too, by the way, guys. They change a lot in that. But both are very good, and those ones are ones where book to film they change so much that you're like, it's okay.
But it's interesting from The Lost World how he had to do some kind of gymnastics there to get Malcolm back on the page again. Because because from what happened to him in the first book,
Yeah.
So, War of the Worlds, when I found that son to be a pill. I just did not care for that guy at all.
But I like Justin Chatwick. That's his name. I like him a lot in Shameless.
You like him, but not the character.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he's a pretty good actor. He's really good on Shameless.
Okay. No,
So I could see him being
You're
like
no, did not enjoy that.
I didn't care for him. Dakota Fanning, honestly.
But some of the cinematography was just great. That scene as they're flying down the highway right there, and the camera just keeps moving around in circles around the minivan as they're driving in throughout traffic. I thought was so well shot.
And the plane crash and all that, really cool stuff.
Very cool. I mean, it took 3 months to build that set. They shot there for 3 weeks, and it was only like 3 minutes in the final film.
Wow.
Yeah, I know way too much. That's at Universal Studios. I do too many tours around that. I could tell you all about that. But that's a topic for another time. We have got The Lost World Jurassic Park coming in at number 2, as Kari and Corin were talking about there. The anticipation. Once the movie's out there, you get excited for the sequel.
Yep.
I think $16 of that was mine.
That opened up a little over $72 million. So, yeah.
I liked all 3 Jurassic Park films. Well, 4. There's 4. I mean, there are definitely pitfalls in some of the sequels, but still, they're entertaining,
Yeah.
Yeah. They're different, too, because the first one has, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the first time they did the animatronics this way with special effects this way. and then just kind of keeps going. I think one of the ones, it might have been the third. The thing that really bugged me is the cell phone ring when the dinosaur swallows the cell phone. And I'm like, that's the cheesiest and worst, like, basic ringtone. I don't know. It just annoyed me. I'm like, that's like my parents' ringtone.
It's such a funny thing to be bothered by.
I don't know. Like, when I was watching, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's like the dumb.
Also, wait, in '97, theater tickets didn't cost $16.
Yeah. Yeah, where were you going? You're going to really fancy theaters, very upscale theater.
It was
No,
dining,
I was shelling out. I was shelling out for all my friends. That's what it
yeah,
was.
there
Yeah.
you
Gotcha.
go.
Yeah, because there's also that scene too where they're trying to, where Sam Neill's trying to get Laura Dern on the phone to help them out, and it's like her son picks up the phone, and you're like, oh, this scene's dragging forever.
Yeah.
Just get to it. Coming in at number 1, we already talked about that a little briefly. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the 4th entry into the Indiana Jones franchise, came in over $100 million that opening weekend.
Again, I think that's one everyone loves the original 3, so they're so excited to see what you're going to do with the next one. It had been such a gap in time that it's like, you know, you build up that anticipation, and then wah, wah.
I never saw this one.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd say more than not, there's more people not happy with how that one turned out.
That
And
was
I think the
This is
fact
with
that
Shia LaBeouf,
Harrison-
right?
yeah.
The
What
fact that Harrison Ford was in it definitely helped.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If he
Everyone
wasn't
was
in
like, hey, the original Indiana's gonna be in it.
yeah. And then you're like, but this isn't quite the same movie. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when Shia LaBeouf, that scene where he's swinging through the vines with the monkeys was just so. I was like, the special
You're just
effects
like, meh.
was just so poorly done. You weren't missing anything, Quinn.
So I shouldn't go rent this one.
Don't taint the franchise with that one.
I don't think I've seen all 3 of the original ones though.
There you
either.
go. We did the other tangent with the other Pixar's favorite classic Indiana Jones.
For me, and it's been so long since I've seen 2, but off the top, I'll go 1, 3, 2.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1.
Interesting.
If only because I love Sean Connery in it with him.
Yeah.
So that I loved. And then somehow the temple thing was so cool to me when I was a kid watching it that I really liked that. And then I don't know why, but I just could. For some reason, I never really ended up watching the whole first one when I was younger, and so I finally got around to it, and then I was like, I mean, I do like it, but somehow the jungle and then like the buddy thing made it better for me.
No, it's tough because that's Sean
But it's
Connery.
hard. They're all so good.
Yeah, I mean, The Last Crusade, I know some people
Yeah.
were like, but you're right. I agree. The Sean Connery stuff was just so much fun in that.
I only ever saw the first one. I'll be honest.
An honorable mention, Indiana Jones, the TV show. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, but I was not a fan when it was young kid when they had Sean Patrick Flattery or Flattery.
Yeah, they had like the young and young. They had the young one, and then they had like the young adult.
Yes, the young adult. I like those much better.
Yeah,
I was like,
those
I
were
don't
really
need-
good.
I don't need to see.
It was
kid.
like Indiana Jones is an old man, and he's like, "Let me tell you about my adventures." And
Great.
so cool.
I would have loved that.
I think it's on Netflix actually.
Yeah, and there's one episode where Harrison Ford does make a little cameo. He pops in at the beginning and the end of an episode. They got him. They got him on TV. It's better than the Star Wars Holiday Special, guys. That you feel like somebody had Harrison Ford's family held hostage and said, "Come on, come and do this TV special." So, as we talked about, we've got 3 films coming in. We're talking about Steven Spielberg because one of the films coming out is his latest film, The BFG,
Yes.
based on the Roald Dahl novel, Legend of Tarzan, starring Alexander Skarsgård from True Blood fame, and then The Purge, Election Year, starring Frank Grillo. They're from, if you know, Captain America, Civil War, Winter Soldier, playing Crossbones. Also in the previous Purge film, Purge Anarchy, as well. He's also in that TV series about the mixed martial arts with one of the Jonas Brothers too.
Okay.
Yes, they're ripped. They're so ripped in that show.
I
James
can't
knows what I'm
remember her
talking
name,
about, right,
but
James?
the lead of this one was also in Lost, and I loved her in that. Right? I think she played Juliet in Lost.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Big
yes.
fan. Big fan.
Yep.
So we're gonna make some predictions right here. To see how the box office is going to go here. Now, just a few notes before the predictions. Spielberg's last premiere was last year's Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks from 2015, opened up to $15.3 million. So not a huge splashy opening for a Steven Spielberg film. It seems like when he does more of those passion projects as opposed to those big event films, the box office kind of fluctuates between those. The Purge Anarchy opened up in 2014 with $29.8 million, which was down from the first Purge film in 2013, which opened with $34 million. And then the last Tarzan film released was the 1999 Disney animated film, which opened with $34 million.
Which
Why
I
do you
love,
laugh?
I
Why
love
are you
that movie
laughing?
so
But
much.
it's like so long since the
Oh,
Tarzan
okay.
film.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that was so good.
Do you remember
no, I
Phil
love-
Collins?
Okay.
Yes.
Phil Collins soundtrack.
No way. I love that movie. That
Yes.
movie is
One of my
great.
favorite Disney, one of my favorite classic Disney movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely
Yes.
adore that one.
Ugh.
Did you guys remember? It's not Tarzan. Oh, sorry, I was thinking Jungle Book. I'm like, when they had the live action Jungle Book, which is a similar concept of doing like a live action Tarzan.
But
Yeah.
that live action Jungle Book did really, really well at the box office.
one was
So
fun.
that's maybe something to go off of.
No, that's true.
And
too.
it's Skarsgård.
And Skarsgård. I know. You know what's weird? I keep seeing the posters and thinking it's Sam Hugan from The Outlander. Do you guys know what he looks like?
No.
I swear it's identical, and I'm kind of like, I wish it was Sam Hugan from Outlander, but I also love Alexander.
My first thing is I'm like, wow, his chest is rather washboard, clear, no hair for living in the jungle, and no razors and face and hair. But, okay, we'll ignore that.
Well,
It's
yeah.
one of those you're like, I think your hair would maybe be more dreadlocks too, or
And, like,
not so perfectly groomed, or not saying dreadlocks are ungroomed, but
but much like in the animated film,
Yeah.
he had more of a dreadlocky type
and it
of
was
look to his
longer hair.
Yeah.
Like his hair is like perfectly trimmed, and you're just like, though the Tarzan in the cartoon had no chest hair either, but I mean, he might be one of those guys, but
yeah, that's just kind of a
Maybe
hairless
if
maybe he's
stuff.
part Native American.
yeah, or something.
I know he's
Skarsgård
not. I'm just
totally
saying he could be.
There you go. Now, the last live action Tarzan film was from Warner Brothers in '98, and it had a 1.1 opening weekend.
I don't even think I ever saw that or heard of it.
I think it's Casper Van Dien plays Tarzan.
Who?
What? Oh, come on, from Starship Troopers?
Okay. Okie
Yes.
dokie. Sure.
Okay, Quinn, you're missing
Come on,
out there.
Ben, you want to live forever?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's also
I feel like
a
I'm
really
coming up
good
short
book
with
as
a lot of
well.
these today.
Starship
Sorry.
Troopers?
Starship Troopers is a really good book as well,
Oh, all right.
and the movie's good too. I've read
Quinn's
a
been
lot of
doing-
fiction to
Kira's been doing a lot of reading.
my fiction to film. Yes,
You know they made 3 of those?
yes, I know, and you're just like, how do they keep making these? But the first one was great. It was actually really funny though. I watched the first one, and then is at the end when I'm watching special features, I'm like, oh, it's a satire. It took me I was watching, I'm like, this movie's really weird, and I'm like, oh, it's a joke. I don't know, I think I went into it thinking it was supposed to be serious, so then I was like really confused. But I read it long after I'd seen it, so.
So, given that, with all we've talked about, where do you think these things are going to fall into place
I
here?
know, it's so hard.
I mean, we still got Finding Dory. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you can't imagine that not being number one. But we got
That's
still
what I
Finding
think
Dory,
too.
Independence Day, Central Intelligence, The Shallows, The Conjuring 2. Well, who's going to stay in the top 5? Who's going to come into the top 5?
All right, I'll do mine.
All
Go
right.
for it. You're so excited.
I got.
Haha. Yes.
Brings me back to my old college band days. I wasn't in band. That was a crazy thing to say. Number 1, I have Finding Dory.
Okay.
Number 2, I have BFG.
Okay.
Number 3, I have The Purge. 4, Independence Day. 5, Tarzan.
Ooh, interesting.
I know. I'm like, ugh. Okay. Well, I'm being very hopeful for the new films.
Okay.
I think Dory's still gonna hold strong, but just for, I'm gonna wait. What words? How can I say that appropriate? Just for fun, I was gonna go with Purge. I don't know, random tangent. Sorry, guys. It was like, bloop. I'll go with Purge for number 1, if only because the first one people really seem to dig it, and so they'd be really excited for the second. But Dory will be a close second.
No, this is the 3rd Purge, right?
Yes.
Purge.
Oh, third?
This is the 3rd.
Oh,
And it's been on a downward trajectory.
Does that change things for you?
yes, it kind of does. Hold on, come back to me.
All right, because it's been 34 million for the first, 29.8 for the second. So is it going to be
And I still
slight?
think
Alright.
Dory's going to do better than 30 next week.
Okay, I'll just shuffle it. I'm probably similar-ish. I'll go with Dory first, because even if that goes down a good 40%, it's still going to be pretty high numbers for Dory. And then I'll go with Purge, because I still think that one has a pretty big following. Similar to horror films, like that one seems to really get people excited.
Yeah, you might be right.
And then I'll go with BFG because it's another family film, Steven Spielberg, and that one's doing a pretty good job of their advertising of putting a lot out there.
Are you excited about that film? I don't know.
I think it looks really good.
Families.
love
I think
Roald Dahl.
families are going to be really excited, and anybody who knows the source material is going to be. And then there's a really good interview I did with Daniel Bacon, who is one of the Giants, which is go on the I Talk Movies.
Plug it.
Yes. 4 Tarzan and 5 Independence Day.
Wow, man, you're going really high with this Tarzan. And I love Tarzan.
But that one, they've had their ads everywhere for a long time.
What are you gonna?
Yeah, I
Actually,
know.
they talked
You
about
think
it
The Shallows
at,
is gonna be on Tarzan?
they talked about it at WonderCon last year of like them getting ready for it, and they were all excited about it. So
No, it's I want it to do well. I want it to do well. Just
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be
you're
great
like,
to
no.
see that character get a bit of rise back in the popular
Yeah.
culture there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been so long, and I don't know if anybody's really that.
But Margot Robbie and Christoph Waltz, they have star power. I think it's gonna do well.
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
it-
get all the comments already
but
and
it
like
feels like-
predictions. I'm like, I know. We're just
You
starting.
know what they should have done?
Yes,
They should
what?
have done like a modern Tarzan with like parkour and like.
Oh, I
street
thought you
fighting.
said like take it to New York,
Ah.
the other
Where it
jungle,
was
New
like-
York.
like a kid raised on the streets, but I don't know. Maybe he's not raised by apes, or
Hey,
maybe
why don't
he's
you
raised
make
by
that
a
movie?
zoo
Don't
or
give that
something.
idea away for free.
That's actually pretty cool. I'll dig it.
Well, I mean,
I'd
CW
watch
did a
it.
Tarzan show where the concept was he came from the jungle to modern day
Or
New
like
York.
Jungle to Jungle. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember?
Yes, Jungle the Jungle,
boy.
throwback.
Good times.
It's Mimi C2.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I just. Oof. Oh,
But
yeah.
here's the thing. Central Intelligence did 18 this weekend. I just think that whatever it's going to do next weekend, I think Tarzan's going to beat it. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, that's my thought too. Of like people have probably seen the other ones that they care about, and then they're like, "Ooh, new movie."
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Independence Day is not going to have as much legs for sure. I think it's going to have a big drop off given where it's been heading. At least.
So, what are your predictions?
I'm going to go Still Finding Dory #1.
Okay.
Man,
Yep.
I don't have a. I'm going to go with BFG. My heart's
Okay.
not in it, but I mean, I guess I think that's going to come in at #2.
Okay.
Then #3, I feel it's going to. I feel like it'll be The Purge, The Shallows, and I think.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'm like
This is
feeling
so
the
hard,
heat
like-
right now.
I want
difficult.
Tarzan. I want Tarzan to do well, but I don't think it's going to.
Okay.
I think Central Intelligence will beat it out, so I don't think even Tarzan will get in the
Also,
top 5.
Okay.
next weekend will be a little different. It's 4th of July weekend.
And that means a lot more people are going to be
A lot
going
more people are going to go to
movies.
the theaters. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but even though a lot of people are going to the theaters, a lot of people are going to go see Tarzan. I don't know. I want them to. Please go see that movie. I just don't know if people will. So I
Yeah.
think I
looks
don't.
kind of sexy. Don't you think?
Yeah, sure. I mean, man, he's ripped. He's certainly
Yep.
ripped. I watched
And like I don't know. I'm into the pairing. I'm into it. I'm also a pervert, so
you're into the pairing of him hanging out with gorillas.
Yeah.
Is that
What
the
are
pairing?
you pairing?
that was it.
All right.
That was exactly what I was talking about.
All
Of
right,
course.
Quinn. All right, interesting. So as we talked about, we kind of give our little rundown here, but now we're gonna do a little The Price is Right here. We're gonna pick one of these films to see how well it does. we're talking about. We'll go. I don't know. Yeah,
Since
let's
you're
do
saying Tarzan, do you want to do Tarzan?
All right, let's do Tarzan.
We're gonna do one that we're not even sure it's gonna be in the top
Well,
5.
you two think I don't. I
That's
want it to
true.
do. You two think it's gonna be in
General
the top 5.
consensus.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's do Tarzan.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or we
Yeah.
all agree BFG is going to be in the top 5. So
Yes.
do we want to do BFG?
No, Spielberg. Yeah,
Why
Spielberg.
don't we could do both? We
Yeah.
can do Tarzan and BFG.
All right, yeah, we got a few minutes here. All right,
Yeah.
we'll do it real fast. All right, here we go. BFG.
I think BFG is going to do 25, 20. No, hold on.
You're like, eh.
I think it's gonna do 18. Sure, 18.
18?
I went down really fast.
That was from 25 to 18 in a matter of
No,
seconds.
but it could be anywhere in there. I want to hear what you guys say, and then maybe I'll change my mind.
25.
25? Interesting. I think it'll crack over 30. So I'm going to say 31.
All right, so you'll do higher, I'll go lower.
Yeah. Quinn?
Then I'm gonna go back to high. Yeah, 25.
All
I
right.
have 25 and he has 31.
I
Don't
hate
you want
that
to
we
be in
can't
the
share.
Go for
25,
26 and be a
31.
jerk.
Yeah, 27. Sure.
27? All right.
Wow, I really ran the gamut there.
Man,
Sure.
But I mean, but you're also right. It is 4th of July weekend. That could goose the box office a little bit.
All right, fine. 28.
I'll say 35.
Okay, 28.
I don't know,
35.
'cause box Dory's probably going to be 40. Yeah.
That was my guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I had the live stream because I want to know so badly what everybody else is saying.
All right. So I'll go 35 for BFG.
You're gonna go 35 for BFG,
Yeah.
and you're going what?
28.
28.
I went a little higher.
All right, I'll meet at 30 then, I guess.
All right.
30?
So
Okay.
we got that. Real quick, Tarzan.
Where do I have
You
it?
guys are so sure that's going to get in the top 5.
I know, but I'm just like, if BFG's top 5 at 28,
Yeah.
then I would need Tarzan to be less than that. But maybe a close second at, let's go 25.
For Tarzan, interesting. Wow, that'd be great. I'd love for that. I'd love for that. I just don't think it's going to.
Because you have Tarzan as...
But I have it to be, I need it to beat out Independence Day, which will be at around 20.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, I think Independence Day is
between
gonna be
20
lower
and
than
25.
I think Tarzan's not going to do that well. That good. I still think it's going to do well, though. I think it's going to do more around 20.
Okay.
I'm going to feel Tarzan's probably going to come in. I want it to do well, but I'm going to say 18. I'm going to say 18. I don't think it's going to crack the 20.
Yeah,
So sad.
yeah. It's a holiday weekend. I think we're going to see bigger numbers than we're expecting.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel terrible. Like,
It's kind of hard to predict for this one because it is a holiday weekend. It kind of changes things up.
Yeah.
People have different kind of schedules. People have days off on the week, so they're like, "Oh, let's go to the movies," and like that's what we'll do.
And also, it's a family thing too.
Yep.
4th of July.
You're all getting together. You all go to the movies.
So
before you go to the fireworks, go to the barbecue.
Although if you think of holidays
Parades.
in general, though, I feel like 4th of July is one of the few holidays where I don't necessarily say, "Hey, let's go to the movies."
Yeah, people more stay and do their thing, their barbecue, their fireworks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also, people would have work off on other days that aren't the 4th, right?
Yeah. Well, you get the you get
Monday.
off.
This year, the 4th is on a Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's
So-
just like regular. Oh my god.
Well, you get the Monday off.
I know, but that's what we're saying is that's the
Yeah.
day that everybody would be staying and doing their barbecue.
Yeah.
This is gonna be tough, guys. I think we're gonna get spanked. So as you've been listening to us do our box office predictions here, feel free to tweet us your predictions. Put them in the YouTube comments there. Hop in the chat. Put them in there as well. Let us know if you think we're right, if you think we're wrong, what you think is right, what you think is wrong here. Folks, if you guys do that, we'll give you a little shout out for whoever has the closest to the right box office predictions there for these two, both Tarzan and the BFG. So look at that. What a great time, guys. What a great time.
Yes.
Did it.
There you go.
Nostalgia Day. We all talked about franchises and like movies coming back.
I do feel like now I really feel bad that I've never seen the other two Indiana Jones. Do I need to go do that like right away?
But
Yeah,
that's
leave
your
right
homework.
now.
That's your
Leave right now.
homework?
Yeah.
Yes.
By next week.
Okay. Sounds good.
We had to really
Man,
put-
it's such
Way better
hard
than the
homework.
homework I really used to have to do. So
Yeah.
I'm into it.
So, folks, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Talk. But as I said, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, follow us on Twitter. Chime in with your thoughts about our box office predictions. What your box office predictions are. Quinn, if they want to get in touch with you, tweet you, whatever, contact you in social media, even after the show's over, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinstagram, and you can find me on Snapchat at QuapChat.
Oh, Kari?
Yes, thank you. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane.
And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Folks, thank you so much for watching and joining us. We love doing this show. We want to hear your feedback as well. We'll see you next week here for the special 4th of July. We're going to be actually on Sunday instead of Monday. So it'll be Sunday night at 10 o'clock. So tune in to the box office breakdown with Quinn and myself. Kari is going to be off, just gallivanting around.
Anime Expo.
Oh, well, there you go. If you're at the Anime
You
Expo,
know.
find Kari
Yep.
Lane. Give her a little love. That sounds weird.
I know,
It's
like,
hi, Kari, I've come to give you love.
I love you.
Richie Skye, hopefully we'll be back in as well, so we'll see you there for the 4th of July. Have a great week, folks. Enjoy the box office. We'll enjoy the box office. That's my new tag. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.